What's going on, everybody? We got Test Trivedi. What did you do?
I just got top 4 at the new format ARG Hartford.
What'd you play?
I played Altergeist.
Okay.
Alright, so played, I think it's 17 monsters. 3 Marionetter, 3 Meluseek, 3 Multifaker, 2 Silquitos, 1 Kunkieri, and some hand traps. I played 2 Ogre and 3 Ash. Ash was pretty good. Ogre wasn't really that great. I mean, I played against a couple Spirals, so I hit Spiral Resort, but I think I would probably switch this for something else. Some other hand trap, or maybe just more spells or something. All the monsters were really good. These 2, I think, were my 2 favorite, like the Marionetter and Kunkieri.
Really? What does Kunkieri do for you?
So he's an attack stopper that also negates an effect while he's on the field. So sometimes you can have like fields where you have just this and like you've used his effect to bounce a card, and so your opponent just wants to clear this away. So what you can do is like you can negate their attack and have this, and then on your turn you can bounce it back. And like it's kind of a soft lock because you can keep summoning it to negate an attack and then using him to bounce it back. And then like you can also shuffle it back with the trap card, Personal Spoofing.
Okay.
And this guy was like my favorite one. If I could play 4 or 5 copies of this guy, I would. He's good at all points in the game. Obviously, he sets a trap, but then like once you have some of these guys in your graveyard, being able to destroy him and summon any of them back is so like insanely powerful because you can summon, set a trap, and then destroy him and get like Faker or whatever. It's like insane. Spells, I just played 3 spells. It's 2 Duality, 1 Desire. This was fine. I would maybe play a second or even like a 3rd copy of Desires. I kind of wanted to see it more. It was good whenever I drew it, but I never like banished all my Silquitos or like anything like that. And then traps, I think it's like 22 traps. So for the Altergeist traps, I played 2 Manifest, 2 Protocol. In OCG, they usually just play 1 of this, but it's a little better over there because you can activate it and then like bounce it back to your hand with Silquitos and still resolve it. But here it doesn't work like that. It has to stay face up to resolve. And this was fun. Like I didn't want to really hard draw them. I just wanted to search them with Marionetter for the most part. This one was a little better to hard draw in my opinion though.
Your opponent was harassing the shit out of you.
And then I played 3 Personal Spoofing. This card's really, really good. It's unfortunate it's on Altergeist card, but being able to search Faker or like any of the other guys, super strong. And like doing it on your opponent's turn and then again on your turn. And then like the obvious way that everyone knows is you can flip it up to search for Faker and trigger Faker. That's fine. I think I did that a few times. It didn't really get hand trapped all that much by like Ash or Ogre after it was face up. And then I played Solemns. I played 3 Strike, Warning, Judgment. I would definitely keep playing these. Strike is like, I think probably the best trap card in the game right now. I didn't really draw Solemn Judgment all that much. Warning was good whenever I had it, but Strike was absolutely insane. In any trap deck, I would play that card. 3 Torrential. This card wasn't like as good for me. I think it's probably better against Goki. I only played against 2 Goki and I never really drew it. But I don't know, it's pretty bad against Altergeist, like against the mirror, so I would side them out. And I don't know, other than that I didn't really see it too much. And then 3 Impermanents. This card was also just okay. Against the mirror, like if they have Protocol up, you can't even really use it. And then like the other decks I played, I don't know, I didn't love it. There was only one time where I opened this and Faker when I was going second, and like my opponent had Ash for my Faker anyway, so it was like whatever. I was so excited that I opened both and then I didn't get to do them. And then for Spell and Trap removal, I played 2 Unending Nightmare and 2 Heavy Stormduster. Between the 2 of these, this card was like way, way, way better. Just because like at the end phase you can just hit face down cards, which was huge for me. I played 3 mirror matches and an ABC deck, so like this got a lot of value. Obviously this being able to hit like field spells and protocol was okay. But I would continue playing both, but I usually left this in post side more than unending. And that's it for the main deck. It's 42 cards. I wouldn't really change too much about it other than whatever I mentioned. And then the extra deck, I play the Nightmare package. I didn't play Griffin. You never really make Link 4s or even Link 3s, but I figured it was worth playing all of these. And then I didn't want to play Griffin for like cherries or anything like that, because I would never do that. I think out of all of these, I made Phoenix and Unicorn once each, and that was it. Link Rebo, like, probably the one that I made the second most. Obviously, you send Meluseek to summon him, and then search for Meluseek. He's really good. Akashic Magician, I don't think I ever made it, but there were a couple times where, like, I could have summoned him to bounce my Marionette back to my hand, which I thought would have been cool, but it never was, like, the optimal play, so I didn't do it. 2 Hextia, this is the guy that I made the most, and I made both a lot, like, in the same turn, so, like, one of the plays, like, lets you end on like this. So it's like, this guy's 3,000, this guy's 31, and he's 16, which is like 77 damage, I think. It's pretty good. London Gursu, never made it, but you can do like Link Rebo plus this guy and make him. Borload, never made it. And then the last 4 cards were just all cherries targets. Those ABC, Isolde, Heavy Metal Foes, and Helix. I think I used my cherries with this guy a couple times. The one time I played against ABC, and then I never cherried any of these. I stopped siding cherries against Goki like halfway through the tournament because it just was not really that great. They can still make a board anyway. So I think going forward, I might just not play cherries. These are just tokens. And then side deck, played 1 game of Steel. There's like obviously an option where you can like summon this on your turn to like your opponent's field, and then on your opponent's turn bounce it back with Silkweedos. Never did it, but would have been cool. This was 3 Inspector Border. This was by far the best card in my side deck. After like the 2nd or 3rd round, I think I put him in every single sided game against every deck. He's just like so good. Against Goki, they have to have junk forward to even be able to make a monster. Against like the mirror match, he's just bigger than all of the other guys. He doesn't activate, so they can't like protocol or anything. They can't bounce it with Silkweedos. There's like very little you can do to this card other than like Torrential Tribute or like a Kaiju. And if
It's good against Trickstar too, right?
And in theory, it would be good against Trickstar if they did not have Scapegoat. But sometimes that's their win condition, and they draw it. But he is absolutely insane. The best side deck card in my side deck by far. And then the worst card in my side deck by far was Cherries. It was just not very good, to the point where I just stopped siding it after a while. Not really much to say about it. 2 Seer Mode. I think going forward, I'd probably just play like a 3rd one of this, like after I cut these out, because you know, you can like let your, there's no FTK, so it's not like you have to stop your opponent on their turn. You can just draw this even as your 6th card and like answer their field. So I thought that was fine. I mean, you give up your normal summon, but whatever. You can set a trap and faker or whatever on their turn too. So I'd probably play a 3rd of this, and maybe even like more Kaijus, and just like let them make a field and destroy it later. 3 Evenly Matched. This card was good against pretty much every deck. I never resolved it and then like fakered, which would have been awesome, but didn't happen. I'd continue to side that card though, for sure. 3 Wiretap. This would go in most sided games, because like obviously in the mirror match they play a lot of traps, but then against other decks you can hit Evenly Matched and Red Reboot. So like it was a necessity. Even though like Goki doesn't play any other traps, you still have to play this just as an answer to that card. And like in sided games, if you don't have this, you kind of have to slow play your hand until you can like summon Hextia and protect your back row from Evenly Matched and Red Reboot.
Would you consider playing Dark Bribe because it could hit the power spells in the Goki deck?
No. I wouldn't want to give my opponent more cards to begin with.
Okay. Any shout-outs you want to give?
Shout out to War Council, all the guys from Jersey, and then big shout out to cardoverflow.com, best place to get foreign singles, and shout shout out to everyone I went to the trip with: Tito, Connor, Evan, Matt, Steve, everyone.
Congrats.
Thanks.